You should record that so you could review that. But yeah, because would you
Oh,
record?
okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
not me. It was you, but got it. No problem.
yeah, nah, but I mean, it'd be good for you to be able to watch this over. But yeah, look at that. So
Oh, you weren't recording?
no, I
I thought you were
forgot.
gonna
I actually
record it.
forgot to hit the button, but that would have been perfect for you to review. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so look,
I
I'm
don't
about
want to record the like one person records it's better because we don't want to slow the connection down either because
connection in
it was
there.
for freezing last time all the
Right,
time.
yeah.
But this thing
It's
is
all good.
pushing. This thing is pushing still. The
Pushing
sellers
down
are
to the
there, no?
what's that?
The when you see that engulfing base
Oh, an engulfing candle like
though,
that.
does
Yeah,
that like that's the
yeah. I
sellers are
mean,
present?
yeah, yeah. It's letting you know that it's got a lot of force, big engulfing green candle like that.
Check out XLE. It went, I think,
I saw you.
or it's well, it's now hovering around the trigger, the 4 hour trigger. I don't know if you set it up last night because you told me look at oil, so I set it up on the 4 hour. If you don't have it set up, it's okay. It's not a big deal.
I don't have it on the 4 hour. I had it on the daily. Yeah, that would have been a yeah. So your profit target would have been this
Side,
daily. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It did a 3-1.
It triggered basically
Yeah,
the
and see, like when you take like an early entry on like a 4 hour, like I consider like the 4 hour and the hour early entry for the daily. So what would happen is like let's say on a 4 hour, let's say you're gonna get 10
hmm
contracts. You may take three on a 4 hour, right?
hmm
Or you may take, maybe five, let's just say. And then this would be your
hmm
target, right? And you would see how
Yeah.
it react once it gets here. If it breaks over here with force on a daily, then you can add in, some more contracts and then take out these targets, right? And look forward to take out these targets. But if you get up here and it seems like it's rejecting once it gets to your first target, then you might want to take some off or, exit the trade and then re-enter the
You
trade when
can
it
like
breaks. Then re-enter when it
mm,
breaks this daily. Um, and be able to, continue up. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Because it did a 3-1-2, right? So you would be like, all
hmm
right, we're gonna push to the PT here. If it looked like it does just not giving with force to be able to push through and get no magnitude, then you just gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna exit here. Then I'll wait for the next setup and see if it breaks over this daily level and then, re-enter. But yeah, so like the 4 hour is kind of like an early entry to take out targets. So that's what I mean by like I call it, uh, um, it's called like a target machine gun, right? Like, you got the pivot machine gun down five. A target machine gun is basically like, all right, so the 4 hour breaks up, breaks over, takes out the daily. That hits another trigger, right? It takes out this target and then it pushes up and goes to the weekly. And let's just say it breaks the weekly and probably reject at this broad information. That's basically hit three entry points. So do you see how the lower time frame uh
Trigger the higher.
trigger the higher time frame to keep going? Like
Mm.
Starbucks just did it. Like Starbucks just did that, right? The daily, the daily. Well, look at
It
PFE.
triggered the daily and the monthly on the downside.
It triggered the monthly, right?
Got you.
And pushed it down to the PT, right? Because you got to remember it's buyers and sellers in these at each of these levels, right?
hmm
So
hmm
obviously it was sellers sitting in that monthly and it came on down, you know what I mean? And it's probably
hmm
institutions that's been sitting there for months and weeks waiting for it to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? Or some buyers down there also.
mm
And look, Google didn't even quit. It just did like a 2-2 and still holding up, right? So on a
Yeah.
5 minute on the yeah, because it's got some room up, right? Because really the next target is 132 49. Um so it probably it wants to push up and maybe take out those levels because it's an inside on a week, it's an inside on a month, it was an inside on an hour that broke up, and then it was an inside on the day. So I mean it kind of it's had some consolidation and it kind of wants to push up and get it and make a move.
Mm. Google triggered the hourly, the 4-hour, but not the
But
daily
Google,
yet.
Google actually triggered the weekly because I got that level off a weekly. It triggered it, it tri-
129.26.
yeah, it triggered that triggered the daily and the weekly.
Yeah, yeah, the
Because the
daily
daily
and
and
the
the
weekly.
weekly,
No, you're right.
yeah,
So
the
you're
daily
right.
and the weekly,
129.26. Yeah,
yeah,
I
the
got it
daily
marked.
and
You're right.
the daily and the weekly had the same level.
Daily and
And there
in
it
this
goes.
trade if I want right now and hit
Yeah,
129.83, 130.46.
yeah, and then
Old
yeah,
time frame is green except for the month.
yep. Yeah, the month will go green over like I think 132.02. That would take it because right now the month is still inside, but it's got I think it's got a possibility to go for that month to go 3.2 today if it keep pushing up the way it is. XLE is pushing.
I think I'm gonna paper trade right now just to see how it goes. I'm gonna get into Google.
Don't get into it yet because it's an inside 15.
Okay, Google
See? So I would wait.
inside 15.
I would wait for the next candle to open unless since it's inside 15. You see, if you can see
Mm.
right here, there's a 15 minute and it's inside, so it's going to chop around. I will either wait for the next candle or if this goes two up.
Never enter on the 1, right?
Yeah.
Or a
So
3
yeah, or three. Yeah. Well, you can enter at the top. Well, you can enter at the next candle.
if it breaks on a
Yeah,
3.
in a 3-2-2. But if this goes two, if this one 15 minute candle goes two up, or it goes two and then 2-1-2 and breaks over here, then you could take entry off of here up to here. Should push through.
So since this is a trade, let's gonna be looking at 50.
See what would have happened if you had entered? You'd be down like 20% right now if you had entered on that one. See?
Okay. Yeah. You don't have the timer there. How do you keep track of the time? Or on your other screen?
Right at the top right here.
Oh, gotcha. If that one becomes a 2 up, then maybe I can enter, or still no. It wouldn't be wise. It's better to wait till it closes. Did you hear me?
If we had to break over, if this one goes two, it got to break over this previous two.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I say if this one goes two up, it's got to break over this previous two.
Yeah.
Yeah. The chances are it's probably gonna close. It might close inside and then go 2-2 continuation. But your target would be if this next two, if this closes a one and then goes two and it breaks over here, then this will be your target. This will be your new target. 130.05.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have to look at other stocks too. Like that's why you have all those stocks in front of you, right? Nothing else is working. Visor, what is this? Weekly 122 up entry? No, it went down. It dumped.
Yep.
You don't have a down
Like
setup on Visor?
the thing about the strat is, if you haven't charted it, I don't really trade it, right? Unless I
Yeah.
see something. Like at a certain point, like you can see things with your eyes, but you really want to have your levels on there. So it's like that's why I
Okay.
run through and get a bunch of stocks and throw them on here. And it's kind of like if what's on my list don't really go, then I'm just done for the day. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
Okay. So yeah.
you don't want to just be hopping
So.
in stuff,
Mhm.
thinking like, oh, all right, we're cool, like this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why like
Yeah.
that's the good thing about the strat. You normally get an upside and a downside. So it's like if it go either way, it's possibly to find a trade. Now, if it chop around, it chop around. But like just running through your watch list like throughout the day, like, well, let me try to find a trade. What's gonna happen is you ain't gonna really be able to if you unless you chart it real quick while you're in the trade. You know what I mean? Like you look at it and say, okay, this don't look bad. Or on the hour, does it got an inside candle? Well, let me go ahead and mark those levels. So when the next hour open, I might be able to take this 312 or this 212. But if you haven't charted it already, like the night before, then it's best to like just stay away because what's gonna happen is you're gonna hop in something, you ain't gonna have it charted, you ain't gonna have your levels on there, and then boom, next thing you know, you're gonna be taking an L and you're gonna be like, oh man, I knew I shouldn't have took that trade.
Yeah.
You know
We're
what I'm
gonna
saying?
get chopped up. The ninjas are gonna chop us out.
Yeah, or just going,
Look,
go
look
go
at
the opposite.
Visor. Look at Visor. Yesterday I set it up 2 setups. 4 hour 212 up and a pivot machine gun down. Triggering the pivot machine gun down. I said if it triggers 37, my first price target is gonna be 36.64 on the 4 hour.
640. Yeah, wow. Yeah, like right here. Like, I mean, technically, this actually was a trade
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
4 hour.
right there.
Yeah.
Pivot machine gun down, triggered, and now it's pushing down to the first target on
Yeah.
the that one. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Take it.
So
Take
yeah,
them all out. Take them all
yeah,
out.
yeah, this would have been your entry. Yep. Now this probably this could go today. But yeah. Yeah, but this would have been a nice 4 hour trade. This one right here. And that's the good thing about having all those like on your chart, like even your 4 hour, because you'll be able to see like that's what I mean. Like, all right, you already had it charted out. So this would have been charting this. You would have said,
The time frame is the 4 hour and the daily are red, but the weekly is green. So
yeah,
there's a
but
conflict there.
I mean, that would be enough for a day trade. It was the 60 though. The 60 is red. So I mean, that would be enough. The week just went red just now.
That's nice.
Okay, there you go. And that would be this would
Hmm.
have been your entry. These would have been your targets.
On the 15 minute, it just went 322 down. So it might just keep pushing, maybe. At least. I mean, look, that white right there. That's nice. That would have been like a 30 cents, 30 something, 30-ish cents gain per contract right there.
All right. Was trying.
So how do you tell the difference between a 2-2 continuation or 2-2 reverse to the upside? Because it's like, to me, it's like almost the same.
It's actually self-explanatory. So a 2-2 continuation is three consecutive candles or two or three consecutive candles going in the same direction. A 2-2 reversal will be a 2 up, then a 2 down, and then
Two
a 2
down. Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
2
Yeah,
or
my
2
bad.
down.
You're right.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah. So
So what do you think about that? The the visor setup to the downside.
I would
That's
have
good
wanted
or
I
no?
would have wanted to been in earlier personally. Because there's
No,
already
no, of course. But I'm saying like from the get go, like if
yeah,
you
like
would
that.
have
Yeah,
got in when it triggered.
on the 4 hour. Yeah, I watched it reverse. I mean, on the 4 hour. Yeah, on the 4 hour, I
Mhm.
would have took that. Yeah, I would have took that. I like to I like to play the higher time frame. Um,
Mhm.
just because you got a better chance of getting a stronger move than trying to take like a you know those lower time frames. Like if you're trying to take a trade on the 15 and a scalp, it's fine. You know, once you get to that point where you're able to, you know, be fast with your fingers because you got to get in and out of there. You know what I mean? Like scalping
Mhm.
that scalping at 15. You know, trying to take that level because you got to remember it's got to be you're trying to want that trade to complete and you know that 15-minute actionable. You know what I'm saying? Like when that candle goes
Mhm.
in force, you want to be like, okay, boom, it's hit force to my target, or it got close to my target. I got 20%, 15%, 10%. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Um, to be able to scalp that. But then if you on a higher time frame like this, just came off of um a 4 hour, right? And then boom, that 4 hour on a 4 hour it went, you know, 2-1, 2 down. Like that would have been perfect. Higher time frame, higher participants in there, more participants in there. And yeah, all right, like Google. Now you can get ready to like if this one goes two, you know, you could take that. Like Google still got some juice in it. I told you Google's got some room up. So Google kind of wants to
Mhm.
take out some of those levels up there. That's what I like to see. You know, good wit, good bodies. You know what I'm saying? Good strong bodies. Like these low
Yeah.
like stuff like this, you know, in technical now, these are like indecision candles, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Indecision.
yeah, so it's kind of like it when you got like strong engulfing, good buy, strong wicks, strong
Gotcha.
buyer wicks, you know what I mean? You know the buyers are present, you know what I mean? Full time frame continuity. Like I probably would be on Google all day, you know what I mean? Like I said, you only need one good
Yeah.
trade, right? You only need one good trade and you can be done for the day. You gotta like
Yeah. Yeah.
keep you know, keep trying to run around and find a bunch of different trades. And mentally, like there you go, right? It went two up. See,
Mentally, it will
yeah.
be
Well, it can
stressful
be taxing on you
to.
because once you start to buy like more contracts, once you start to get into, you know, buying, you know, 50, 100 contracts and you got a couple grand in there, I mean, it could be pretty, it can be pretty stressful like on you mentally. You know what I mean? It's easy when it's like
Mhm.
one or two contracts. You're like, oh, I don't mind. But you know, once you start to get up in that and into size, you know,
Mhm.
it can be mentally taxing. Technically, the mind really can only handle one or two good trades, you know, before you end up messing up and doing something stupid.
Yeah. 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 No, I agree with you, and I realized that like the hard way because I'm setting up all these stocks and I'm thinking like, oh no, I maybe I can get in more than one of them at a
Yeah, I
time
mean,
and this, but no, it's not that easy.
yeah, I mean you can take multiple trades once you get to that point of you know understanding how things work and being able to you know get in and get out of one's at 20%, different things like that. Or you might take trades where um like Google is going to be starting to push up because SPY is going to start to push up. Like Google just did a two up, two down, right? And SPY just did two up, two down, and look like it want to push. Google's pushing. So then you want to look at the stocks that's around inside a spot. Like if Microsoft is pushing up, if Apple is pushing up, not to cut myself
Mm.
off, but PFE is basically at PT1. Let me put Apple up here, right? Oh, shit. Right now, look at it like Apple still like not really gotten his butt in gear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but Google was pretty strong. You might check Microsoft to see how that's doing because basically you want to trade in a direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, Google's pushing, Apple's pushing, Microsoft pushing up. You know, those things like, you know, they heavily weighted inside a SPY. You feel what I'm saying? Just like
Mm-hmm.
XLE is energy, right? So I was like, if you wanted to play
Yeah.
Apache or any oil stocks and stuff like that, you want to see how XLE is doing because you want to move in the direction of, you know, where the sector is going, you know, where ETF is going, different things like that. Like, all right, like, then we can, all right, look at Pfizer. Pfizer's hit PT1 and doing a 222. Like, that's a 222 continuation. You know what I'm saying? 3 consecutive
Yeah.
twos. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm. So when I say, what's the name of the
Because
guy?
it
Look
played
at it.
out. I'm actually happy because
But right, it played out, right? So, so
yeah,
that's
yeah. I feel
that
good,
shit.
even though
So
I
that
didn't get in, but I feel good that I was right.
you was right, right? Exactly. All right. So this was a gap on the hour, and it didn't fill that gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then your next target will be here, right? And then here. This of you, you know what I mean? Like
Gotcha.
that's the thing. Like you might be on a daily, but you got to find levels on. Sometimes you got to find levels on lower time frames,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
even though it's a daily trade and you found your daily levels, sometimes it's good to just find those smaller targets on, you know, lower time frames like your hour, your 4 hour. Even though you charted on a daily and weekly, you can go down to those lower time frames like your 4 hour and your hour and find targets within it, and then that'll let you know why things might be resistant, right? And can't push up, right? And you be like, well, it got to
Mm-hmm.
this level. Why did it stop right here when the daily target is way up here, right? It's because you had these
Yeah.
smaller targets within the hour and the 4 hour. So as you can see, it had a gap right here on a 4 hour, and it came and took that out because that was your target. So I mean, if it decides to keep getting magnitude and push up, it's going to take out this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
On the
you,
1 hour,
yeah, like
basically.
on the 1 hour to 4 hour, yeah. So all right, so this your daily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me get it. I hate when it does this. All right, so this is your daily. Your daily after this target right here on the daily, your next target is
Mm-hmm.
way up here at 132.49, right? But
Right.
as you can see, I found all those other targets on the hour, right? So it's gonna look crazy on
Mm-hmm.
your daily. It's gonna be lines like just in between, you know, on candles. But
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
on your hour, it's gonna make sense. That's why looking at all your time frames is important to be able to see like what's going on. You feel what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, I see now we have, you know, a gap here that it filled, came in and took that out. You know, it could possibly go up and take that out, or it could just fall back down now because it filled that gap, right? On the hour.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say it's always important to um watch all your time frames. Why you can't just be like I got those 15 minutes up for my entry, but like I got
I
Google
can't be
AM.
stuck on those 15 and 5 only
Yeah, but
throughout
I
the
got
trade.
yeah, but I got on my big screen, I got Google and I got PFE up. So like I'm watching all those higher time frames at the same time. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Gotcha.
look I'm looking at the overall, you know, just seeing what's going on with all of them because if something starts moving over towards target on the 15, I'm gonna switch it over to my big screen and be like, oh yeah, I like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I had you set up your charts with like, you know, all those different time frames on it. And like saying you since you're using TradingView, you actually can like, you know, you can add more. Like you can add, you know, you can make a chart like this and then switch to the next screen and have, you know, like all your, you know, your overall or everything you're looking at on your watch list. And then you can link that and have it where, you know, you type in and boom, you can look at all the major time frames of, you know, that particular stock that you really, you know, I got an eye on. Right. So PayPal was hit, took out, is over.
Now I understand better the why you need to look at the all the time frames
All the time
is
frames,
to
right?
keep track of your targets
Targets
when they hit.
when it hit, correct, right? Because see, technically, like on the 15, like all of these are little targets, right? But since they 15 minutes, it's a little easier since this entry was like a daily entry, right? This is a daily.
Yeah.
I just didn't make it green. I don't know why I forgot to make it green because that lets me know that it's daily. But right. So this is a daily. So it broke over a daily. So it's easier for these little small 15-minute targets to get taken out because it's not strong resistance right here, right? But so it's easier for you just to kind of like, walk on through them. But if you really look at it, like on the hour, you probably have some targets like what has it taken out here, right? Or all right, it took out a target there, right? And if you notice when it first broke over, it kind of stopped right here, right? It had a low resistance.
Yeah.
So the next target, will probably be here. Oh shit. Got it. What's the name? Yeah, so your next target will be probably here, right? On the hour. Then technically your daily target is here, right? We can just mark it like this. Personally, I don't mark them because I'm able to see it. But let's just say
Yeah.
we can create day PT.
Gotcha.
But you can literally go through and like mark every one. Like this would be,
No, I understand.
you know,
No, I relate to what you're telling me because before I didn't. I was looking at the chart with all these lines going through it, and I'm
right.
like, oh my God, those are so many lines, and they're
Yeah.
really tight. There's no space between them.
Yeah, but when you get on those lower time frames, it's kind of easier to see what's going on, right? So Google's still going. Look, and then um Starbucks just made a hard push back up to like a hammer, but it's a red hammer. The whole time frame is red, so it's like after that, I would have took my profit down here. My stop would have been here at this monthly level if I still had runners, and I would have got stopped out. Right.
Yeah.
That was your best way to play that. But I mean, you got that close to your PT. You need to be taking like majority of your profit. And then I mean,
Absolutely.
look at that. I mean, look at Google right here. Look at this 212.
Google pushing right now on hitting
Yeah,
almost hitting
look at this
daily
two. I
target.
mean, look at this 212. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that is
212.
and I was on the 15. I mean, that is beautiful. Like, man, look at the size of that candle.
I gotta make a better setup for myself. But let me see.
Take it on paper
This
trade.
is
Take
yeah,
it on paper.
I did.
Okay.
I'm up. I'm up. I got 20 contracts. I'm
Okay.
up like $160.
There you go.
The stop loss and follow through to learn through the paper right now.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
see, like, I mean, but at the same time, it's like it ain't a stop loss on there. But at the same time, like, my stop losses are mental. So, I mean, if you're looking at the chart, you can have a mental, stop loss. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you starting out is good to have an actual physical hard stop. Most of my stops are mental. So if I'm moving that line up and saying, all right, this is what my stop is going to be. If that candle closes below this line or whatever the case may be that I might mark, then I'm getting out. Or if I know the price, I'm like, okay, I'm getting out at this price and I'm going to exit. And then when I start to see a candle reverse, I'm going to open up my contract chain and be like, all right, at this point, that's what I'm stopping out at. Or, I'm going to go ahead and maybe put a hard stop on at that point and, let it do what it do. You feel what I'm saying? But I
yeah,
mean, I like to, I mean, personally, like when you're going to get to a point where you just want to start using a mental, you know what I mean? Just because it's easier for you. Because
yeah.
sometimes
No, no,
hard
absolutely. I
stops can
agree.
be hard stops can be a real pain because, um, you know, you might get like a little wick that just wicks down and takes out that liquidity and knock your stop out, right? Um,
Mhm.
So sometimes you be like, oh damn, it wicked down and it just knocked me out. Especially if you got your stop loss set on, market price rather than the ask. Sometimes I would set my stops when I do set hard stops on the ask. But I want the ask price to get down to there rather than the market or the bid price, because obviously the bid price might get there, but the actual ask price don't, and that'll keep you in the trade a little longer, stop you from getting wicked out. So a lot of times I just use mental, but I mean, you got to get to that point where you're comfortable with, having a mental and knowing when you're going to get out and respecting even that mental stop loss. Like, look, so I put this line on the chart and it says that's my stop. That's what I'm getting out at. If a full candle falls there or it closes there, I'm getting out.
So, so when you have a mental stop, right? So when you reach that mental stop, you just hit sell market or sell bid.
Either one. I mean, they
Which
both,
one gets filled faster?
well, market always going to get filled faster. But sometimes
Gotcha.
when webull, market don't work.
Gotcha.
Sometimes. So,
It's so important to just manage the trade after you enter. Oh my God, I can't believe how important it is.
yeah, I mean,
You gotta stay on it.
like, yeah, like I said, I can see my 5 minute, right? I can see what's going
Mm-hmm.
on the 5. I can see what's going on the 15. I mean, I kind of been doing this long enough to where I almost can manage to trade on any time frame, because at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, the price is price, right? The candles
Yeah.
is just showing, where price is at every 1 minute, every 3 minutes, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, 15, et cetera. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to look at a 15 and know where price is at. Like, okay, price right now is at 130, 37. Let's just say I'm gonna say 129.83 is gonna be my stop, right? So no matter
Right.
what the 5 minutes is doing, I'm able to look at this price and say, I know where it's at. You know what I'm saying? I know what's going on. It's just all of that, all of this is just in 3 5. This is just 3 5 minute candles, right? So I'm able to manage that. Or I
Gotcha.
can be on an hour and say, all right, this trade is going pretty good. I'm gonna see how the next hour opens. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. All right, we pushing up. I like to see how they close an hour also. Like, it's good to recognize how they close an hour, because that'll kind of determine how a trade gonna go too. Because it'll let you know where the buyers are. Like, if an hour close, like if you're in a long position and the hour closes green, most likely the
Mm-hmm.
next hour is going to open up green, and they're going to try to continue it. If you're looking at an hour and it's like 1 minute before close and they start to take it down red, that lets you know that, people might be taking profit or they just ready to sell it. Next hour is probably going to reverse. You feel what I'm saying? So it's good to know like how each hour is closing. You know what I'm saying? Like where your buyers and your sellers are on the day.
Gotcha.
So I'm always watching the 60 to see, how it's opening, how it's closing. See, like, I mean, Google just, got strength, because look at SPY. SPY is trying to come down. SPY just did a 2 up. It did a 2 down, did a 2 up. And, it's probably gonna come down. I mean, every time frame is looking like it's red, but the week. But but Google is still showing a lot of strength. So I mean, that's basically what that basically means, is just natural buyers inside of Google right now. And natural buyers are just, institution and people saying, I don't care what SPY is doing, I don't care what the rest of the market is doing, I'm buying this thing. And sometimes it's good to be in with the natural buyers. You know what I'm saying? And those are just
Yeah.
natural buyers inside of Google right now, because SPY kind of want to come down, but Google is still pushing up.
So the hour is gonna be up in 1 minute, and basically, if it closes like this green candle, that's telling us that the buyers are in control at the moment, at this time.
Yeah, which means they still buying the hour. It closed green. the next hour open up. The next hour probably they might continue to keep buying, because they closed the green. And so it's good to watch that hour. That hour tells a lot. It tells where the buyers are on the day, where the buyers and the sellers. Like
Another thing is,
PayPal just got natural buyers in it, and PFE. Look at PFE. PFE is on its way to look like profit target too.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All right. So the next hour open. It open inside. And as you can see, the hour just went back green.
Yeah, the hour and then now new hour. Yeah, the flip, they call it, right? The flip now.
The hour flip. Yep.
When things occur matter. So how do we put that in perspective? Like in this case, right now, Google just opened on the second hour.
Yeah, open inside hour, but it opened green. So basically, I mean, you're just going, like, let's just say you was in this trade already. You've been in since the upside of breaking this weekly level. You could put a stop like right at the wick of that one, right, and just see where it go. So now you'd be stopping out in profit. And if they want to take it down, they can take it down. If it don't, it don't. Or what you would do is you would put your stop there if you get stopped out. And then let's just say this hour closes. You would wait an hour, see how this one closes. If it closes on a one, you will mark those levels and you will wait and see what the next candle does. Your profit target then will be 30, 44. And basically you just wait it out and maybe re-enter the trade. But right now your stop should, if you was going to play this on the day trade all day, your stop should be right under that one on the hour right now.
On the wick, and there, right there, we got stopped out.
You probably would have got stopped out. You might, you would have got stopped out, and then you just, think about it. If you was in right there at that weekly level, or 129.26, you got stopped out in pretty good profit. So then right now you just will be waiting to see how the next hour open up. So you just be patient and just wait. That's the thing about the strat. It teaches you patience, right? Ain't everything gonna come to you fast. You know what I mean? Ain't everything gonna just happen in a matter of minutes, right? Now what could happen is that one could end up going 2 up and it's just gonna do a 2-2 continuation. You don't want to really enter on 2-2 continuations. You would say, all right, I made my profit. I'll wait for it to set back up again, maybe, or pull back, and then, re-enter again, or you can just walk away with your day. You know what I'm saying?
So it's not wise to enter on 2 continuations.
Nah, not really. Not really. I mean, that's why if you look at the strat cheat sheet, like when it says 2-2 continuations, it's literally just says, they don't have no entry.
It doesn't have an entry. Yeah, why? Yeah. I was wondering
because you're not supposed to enter on them.
Got you. And what about the 1-3?
Yeah, you can enter on a 1-3. Yeah, that's a holy grail setup. Because you looking, you enter on a break of the 1.
Oh, okay. And your target would be the top of the 3. The 1-3s. That's how they play them. Okay.
Yeah, that's like a holy grail setup. And the reason is because it's then took out a high, took out a low. So it then took out some stops, it then took out some buy orders. Then the 1 is consolidating and then it's ready to explode in one of those directions.
Yeah. Right now, I was still holding on to the Google paper positions, and now I'm down almost $200. I didn't sell when I was up 190. Exactly. So I should learn from that. I should have sold, that would have been in profit, and that's it.
That's it. Yep. Hit some PTs. Got out of there.
Exactly.
That's why if you had your stop right at the
Now
bottom,
I'm just holding the bag now.
yeah, because if you had and actually, your other, yeah, like I had said, your stop would have been like somewhere down here. Also, you could have left it right here at 129.83, and which you like teetering right there. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's only if you entered on the week level or break over the week level and not up here.
Yeah. When it triggered, I entered only on the when it started going to the upside and breaking more levels. But the
Yeah,
original trigger on Google is actually 1, 2, 3, 4 time frame triggers. The 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily and the weekly. They all go into I think around like 129,
yeah,
and the weekly is 129.26.
right.
So that was a more than
That
one
was
time
like I said,
frame.
yeah, like if you had entered on like the hour or the 4 hour, that just would have been an early entry. And then like all right, so you would have entered on the hour or the 4 hour, and then it would have broke that weekly. You could have added in to that position because
Mm,
you're breaking a strong level and then just wrote it up. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, if you was
okay.
gonna buy 10 contracts, you might have bought 3 on the hour or the 4 hour, and then added in the rest on the weekly, and then rolled that up to PT.
Got you, got you, got you.
But when it comes to adding in and stuff like that, I mean, just get more comfortable with just entering on, you know, entries and then taking profit at PTs. Adding into positions, it's something that comes with time and comfortability, and just like being in multiple trades at once. It's something that comes with time and you know in the market because you know you'll get to a point like some days I'll be in 5 trades, all of them are green. You feel what I'm saying?
Hmm.
At once, but that just comes with comfortability. That also comes with knowing um what stocks you in that move in your direction. Like if you in SPY and SPY's pushing up, so you might be in Google and Microsoft at the same time because they all push up in the same direction at the same time, right? Most of the time, right?
Right.
Most of the time they ride together. So you can be in like a Google if it's setting up and a Microsoft if it's set up at the same time. You don't want to be in uh you know like right now, like if you was in you wouldn't want to be in SPY calls and Google when SPY want to come down. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all about knowing what moves together and stuff like that. Like being in oil, like if you was in Apache and oil stock or energy stock, and you're trying to, if you're looking at XLE, you're looking for XLE coming down, so you want to be in puts if those are setting up to, go down. You feel what I'm saying? It's just knowing what moves together, what sectors, what ETFs, what the futures are doing. Like if you're gonna be in oil, it's good to look at energy and checking out energy. It's good to look at, CL, which is, the oil future, keep an eye on XLE. Because I don't know if you can see this watch list, but see, these are all
Yeah,
your
I see
sectors.
it.
So, XLB is material, XLC is communication, energy, financial. You feel what I'm saying? Like it lets you know things. Um, check out, right? So this is financial.
Hmm.
Like this is the banks and stuff like that. Visa and Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, different things like that. You know what I mean? So like, a few of those are green. I don't know if that whole sector is probably not green. I would have to check it. But that can kind of help engage where PayPal might be going, right? Or other financial things like, all right, PayPal is moving. Let's see how SQ is moving, right? I see. So SQ is going down, but PayPal is going up. Like yesterday, Pfizer was moving off the fact that Moderna had news.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Moderna really was the real runner yesterday, and Pfizer was a sympathy. But J&J actually sold off.
Wow. On news of Moderna. That's how those
Yeah,
two
because
stocks
basically, like
acted.
right now we got a lot of COVID news popping back up. Then COVID's kind of like showing his face again, and Biden's
Yeah,
probably
I
talking
heard
about
about
getting
that.
another booster, right? So that's what happened. So
Hmm.
Moderna had some news, So it made kind of Pfizer pop, and Pfizer was set up. And if you notice, I had Pfizer on the watch list, but I didn't have Moderna, but I just had seen that Pfizer had set up, right?
Yeah.
In Google. Cool.
So basically the sector lets you know where this stock might be heading to, which direction. It helps.
Yeah, it helps. I mean, at the same, like, yeah, because I mean, if it's in that sector and that sector is green, most likely that sector is pushing up, which means is pushing, which means other things in the sector are pushing up in the same direction. So you want to ride the wave with it.
Yeah, but like it doesn't change anything when for your setups. Like if you have a setup to the upside and to the downside, all it does is just it tells you like it might go to the upside, and then that way you will know that you're gonna be maybe just doing the upside setup, not the downside. If you're looking at the sectors, basically, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you're looking at
That's
the
how it
sectors,
helps us.
it's just giving you an overall look at, which way, that particular, sector could be going. Because if the sector's pushing up, most likely the stocks ended up pushing up, right? So if
Mm.
that's the case, then if one of those stocks in there is setting up, you want to ride with the buyers or you want to ride with the sellers.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. That's basically if you're gonna basically take a trade um during market open, it has nothing to do with setting up the day before when market is closed, looking at the sector if it's green or red, right?
Yeah, like you just kind of want to know, like, and that's why it's good to study. Um, look at all the sectors, and you can actually Google that. Like, you can like go through and be like, what's an XLE, what's an XLB, and it'll tell you all the stocks that's in there. And so you kind of like get familiar. Like, it's a good thing to study, like knowing what's in sectors. Like I kind of know a lot of things that's in SPA and QQQ, like QQQ, like Apple, different things like that, different tech stocks. In SPA,
Mm-hmm.
tech stocks too, like Apple is like one of the number one in SPA. Uh, Amazon's like number two or three. You feel what I'm saying? So it's good to know what those stocks are doing at the same time what SPA is doing. That's why I always kind of keep these up tier too, because if Apple is going down, it can really drag SPA down. Because Apple is such like the heavyweighted stock in there, right? The percentage, because this is
Mm-hmm.
the S&P 500 is 500 stocks,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
right? There's 500 different stocks, right? And it's then
Mm-hmm.
you got your top 10, which is like Apple, Google, Amazon, and a few others. So since Apple is like makes up a higher percentage of the SPA,
Mm-hmm.
if Apple is pulling down, most of the time it's gonna pull SPY down with it and the rest of the overall market because it's 500 stocks inside of SPY. That's why people like, people sometimes when they don't really like know much about investment and stuff like that, they'll just buy SPY, right? They'll just buy
Mm-hmm.
SPY just once a month, or when they get paid, just buy a share and just keep adding to it, because this really goes up like 10% every year, right? Like if you look at this like year over year, I don't even know if I got a 20-year on here. But if you look, look at this. If this is, what year is this? This is 2000.
2009.
Yeah, right. That was $60. It went all the way up to $479. That's the high. So it ain't really pulled back much. So if you started buying this in 2009, you was continuing to push up. And this is 2020. This is when the whole market sold off, right? And then Trump made that announcement that it's going to push back up. So even if you had brought this back in 2020, 2019, you still would be up, $200 per share. And if you look at it right now, it's still holding up in the 400 range, and it's probably going to get up, in the next year or two. It's probably going to take out this high and be at, 500, because basically right now it's a 3-1, right? So you can actually mark this, right? You can mark the high and the low, and you can mark this high and this low, right? Because when 2021 comes in, it's going to be important, because this is going to wind up choosing our direction at some point, right? It's either going to come down and take out this low and go back down to 345 and maybe continue on down throughout the year and get us back down to 2 something, or it's going to, do a 2 up and take out this and push on up to about 500, to all-time highs that it's never been to, right? Because right now, this is the high. So it's a 3-1 setup. So, 2024, when the market opens, it's going to be important to know how that next candle opens, right? It's been an inside year all year. That's why the market's been kind of like choppy the way it has. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't been like, we've been fluctuating within, this price range for the last,
Yeah.
8-9 months now. You feel what I'm saying? It's an inside,
Yeah.
right? So it's going to choose on the next candle. It's going to probably choose a direction, either 2 up, take out this high and continue up and probably get us up in the 490s to 500 range, or it's going to come down. And what's the name? So, that's going to be real important for those people that invested in this, in the last, at least 2 years, to see which way this is going to go. But if we decide to come down and take out this level, it's probably it really would be a good buy area to, start accumulating it, because most likely it's just going to be a pullback. And by 2025, we're going to be pushing back through into 2026. That's why, like, you could buy the SPY and literally like just hold on to it for 10 years. You feel what I'm saying? Because as you can, anybody that had it for the last 10 years are doing pretty well. So that's why some people that don't really like to invest in a whole lot of stuff, they buy this. Google is doing pretty well right now. But yeah, most people just buy it. Year over year, it normally does like 10%. You know what I mean? Think about it. It got, even this year, it got all the way down to 376. And look where we back to. So even if you had brought, a couple shares of this or put $5,000 into this, you up, look, we had fucking 356. 339 today, but we hit a high of, basically 460. So if you had brought anywhere down in here, let's just say you brought in the 380 range, in the last month, we've been up to
almost $70 up.
Right. So let's just say you had put $5,000 into there, you will be up. You might want to take half of it off and see what happens, or, and get prepared and sit on your money and get prepared for next year and see which way this is going to go and load up. So some people just buy this, year over year for their retirement, and they're doing pretty well. So
using the STRAT, and they do on the yearly time frame. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, you can go off your yearly time frame. So it's like you literally could, like, next year, like 2024 opens up, just chooses that direction. It breaks over this candle right here, right? It decides to break over this candle.
And it could be any time between January and December, the new year, basically breaking
so you
over.
Could buy you could buy a 1-year contract. Like, you in 2024, you can buy like a 2025 contract. Once this breaks over this 459.40, right? You could buy a contract, a year leap or 2-year leap, and look for it to hit this target right here, right? Make a $20 move, right? But the contract wouldn't lose a lot of value, because it would be a leap, like literally like I mean, it probably would lose like a penny a day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those longer term contracts don't bring you down like those weekly do. You know what I'm saying? Like where you can enter a weekly and be down 20% in a matter of a minute. Whereas like these longer term contracts, they don't get theta decayed like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the closer it gets to that date, like if you in one of these contracts, let's just say you get like a $500 spot contract, at the beginning of January, and you're getting into December, and you still teetering around here, this 50 $60 range, then yeah, you might not be like that far up. But like if you get into that contract and you make like a $5 move, you're gonna be up pretty well on that contract. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, this is what institutions do. Institutions don't really necessarily day trade. They watch the overall market, but they're looking for the bigger move. Like, all the institutions are sitting here waiting what this inside candle is going to do coming up on the end of the year, going into 2024, and then that's when they're gonna load up and say, all right, this thing is breaking over. There's an inside candle. They're gonna end up hitting the hammer and putting billions of dollars into SPY and probably push SPY up to 500. So that's, I mean, that kind of goes the same way into swing trading, right? Because you could be like, on a quarterly chart, and do the same thing. You feel what I'm saying? Like on a quarterly, all right, we got a 2 up. So the next quarterly candle opens, we in July. All right, so October comes, right? So you will mark this and mark this. If you mark this and we decide to come down, the next candle open, it goes 2 down. We might come and take out this 400 and 2 and 3 level. So you could buy like, 6-mile contract, this breaks the 2, and you can just swing that and come on down. Don't worry about the day-to-day pops and stuff like that. You literally just sit in that contract until it makes the move you want. But you got a 2 up hammer, right? Shooter. And if it goes in force, boom, you might come on down to this 4 or something. And once you break down anywhere in the head, I mean, you're gonna be in profit. You might take some profit off, leave a contract or 2 to come down here. So that's how you can swing trade stuff.
Gotcha.
So I mean, you can do the same thing on the monthly. You might, like, all right, it's a 2 down hammer. You might be like, I'll rate it out, but on the quarterly, it don't look bad. So you just will wait for October to come and see how that next quarterly candle opens. Just be mindful that, the end of the year will be coming up. So you want to, be mindful that it's an inside candle.
You want to line up with the yearly too as well. You mean the time frame, right?
Yeah. So you want to kind of be careful with it because, that new year will be coming in. But that's what I mean. Like the strategy is really great for swing trade. But the thing about it is if you can find a swing trade, you normally can find a day trade. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So what's probably gonna happen here, we're coming up on like 11 o'clock. Then we'll be going into lunch. The market ain't gonna probably make a move.
What is the lunch thing about when in the stock market? Do people actually take breaks and?
Yeah, people go to lunch. Yeah, people go to lunch from 12:30 to 1:30.
12:30 to 1:30.
Yeah, I mean stuff.
So you won't be trading, like you would be like
like if I
already.
Like I'm trying, like at that time I'm trying to already be in something, and it's still looking good, and then I'm looking for like that 1:30, 2 o'clock for them to continue to buy and make a hard push. Like when I was in Lyft that day, I got in Lyft. I took my profit, I re-entered on the next setup, and it literally like it didn't really start to make a big move until like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And I stayed all the way in that trade, and it broke that weekly level all the way until it literally didn't make a big move until I got out of that trade at 350.
Gotcha.
Right before market closed, like, and then it just made a run. So it's like right now, it's like, the market might decide to do something right now, but if it runs into lunch, it's probably ain't gonna make a nice move until after lunch. That's why it's like you really just want to trade from like, like 9:30 to like 11:30 at the most, or even 10:30. You hope to be done, and then you can come back after lunch and see, like, because sometimes, like, right after lunch at 1:30, they'll just hit the hammer on something. And stuff will just start moving.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, look at PayPal. PayPal's on his way to his next target. PayPal on his way to his next target. Pfizer basically just did some profit take. Like, people just took some profit right here, if you notice, right? Because it didn't make a new high. It didn't break this high. It
So
just
people,
popped up. Yeah, it looked like it wants to push back down. It might push back and continue on back down. PayPal was just on it.
so
On it.
if you were an advisor, you would have been stopped out at the 2 down red at level
Yeah,
5 right there, no? Right?
I would have. I mean, my stop probably would have been here.
Or down.
I would have been, for one, I would have been out of most of it down here. Like, I probably would have had a runner or two, and I probably would have had a stop right here, and I would have got stopped out here, which I would have been okay with, because if that type of move that it just made, I've been okay with that. I mean, you just gotta be okay
Gotcha.
with stopping out and don't care what it do after that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And see, look, it's trying to take out. It's trying to push up and take out this hour right here. If you notice on PayPal.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a hammer. Isn't that a
Yeah,
hammer?
yeah, it's a hammer. It's a 2-2 continuation. But
Actionable
yeah,
signal.
it's not really actionable because it's a 2-2 continuation, but it is a hammer, and it's looking to take out that what's the name? Which, I mean, technically, like, you should have been in, down here anyway. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes if you're
Yeah.
late, you're just late. You just gotta let it
You're
do.
like you can
Yeah,
don't chase, right?
don't chase it.
It's not
Yeah,
wise.
don't chase it. Yeah, like it wants to
Either
take.
you get in from the get go and you play it out right, or you just don't
Yeah, you
be
just
all over
yeah
the place.
yeah. Or do you wait? I mean, you wait for a pullback and a setup, and it might go. They go, they go Google ready to take out this level.
Yeah, I got out. This
You
time
got
I didn't get greedy. Yeah, I got out on the
yeah.
paper.
All
I
right,
made $230.
there you go.
Yeah. Sometimes if you don't get out in the right time, then you goes from red to green to red. That's not cool. So MDT, do you know when the news is gonna break? I mean the earnings.
What's that?
Do you have any
No,
idea?
I don't even know. I haven't been watching it. It'll probably tell you the earnings on webull if you go on there. It should be saying when the earnings are. I haven't even paid attention to it because I wasn't in it.
I'm gonna check and see if they tell me. Positions MDT.
Yeah, you're looking at this.
No. Sometimes I just be like a dummy. 2% up today, MDT. Fuck. That's weird. Oh, I know. I have the earning feature. It's not on. I have to put it to show basically. Let me see. Earnings on chart. There we go. Earnings and revenue date Tuesday, period ending. Reported 1.2, estimate 1.10. Surprise 0.091, 8%. Is that good or bad?
When was earnings?
Today.
Did they beat?
Yeah, by 8%.
Did it go up?
2% up today.
Did you get some money back on it?
No, let me see where I'm at. Hell no, man. I lost a lot of money on that. I fucked up on that trade, man. It is what it is, though. I learned from it to take my stop loss and obey it, and just don't fuck around. So on that,
How much money you had in it?
I'm stupid, man. I got in with 42 contracts, bro. Half of my account, bro. I'm stupid.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Don't even tell me about it. It's gonna make me feel worse. So let me see. Fuck, 97% down.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm even more down today than before.
yeah, it's over with.
Yeah, it's all the way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold it till the 25th. That's when the contract expires. I mean, I might as well, no?
Yeah, ain't nothing left to it.
Huh?
I said, yeah, ain't nothing left to it. 97%
Yeah.
is over with. Yeah.
There's no way there's a coming back from that, right? Or
Yeah,
could
most
be.
likely no.
Okay. And he didn't send anything out. What I think is this, that's now I learned how people blow up their accounts real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I just have to take it like small trades one at a time and small trades and just
Yeah,
keep profits,
like something like that. Um,
take
I probably
profits.
would have got like 10 contracts or something like that. You know what I mean? Or, 5 contracts.
I thought it was like a load or something. I just went stupid on it, honestly. I've been disciplined after that. Only one contract per trade, not going over one contract. Not at least until I get the hang of it and get the rhythm and get
Yeah.
more confident. Like you said, like you can start basically buying in like as your price target hits and then you have another price target and then you buy in more, but I'm not ready to do that yet.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta take it easy. I mean, you just got well, another thing is you just gotta have a set amount in your mind. Like, all right, listen, you know, I got $10,000 account, right? I'm gonna use uh $500 per trade, right? I'm gonna take a max of 3 trades a day, right? Now you ain't gonna lose the whole 500, but you gotta understand. All right, I'm willing to lose a total of $100 for the day, right? So okay, cool. You take two trades, 2 of them work out, one don't. One you might lose $100 on, the other two you might have made $200. You end the day you got $100. You know what I'm saying? Or they all 3 don't work out, but your max loss gonna be $100 for the day. Now it's gonna be 105. It's gonna be 97. It might be 85. Don't say, okay, well, I'm at 85. My max loss is 100. I'm gonna take one more small trade, and if I lose 15, no, you lost 3 trades.
Yeah,
End the day.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Come back
yeah.
tomorrow. Figure out,
That's it.
go
Yeah,
review the
gotcha.
trade and figure out what you did wrong. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you got
Yeah.
like, like if you got that type of account, like if you're gonna swing trade something, see, you gotta remember with a swing trade, for one, you gotta be okay with being down 50% on your position, right? Because that's normally like your stop loss
Hmm.
for a swing trade is about 50% of 50%, right? So if you go in with 500, you gotta be okay with losing 250, right? Because swing trades can sometimes go down 50% and then come back up, right? Because it's a swing. Your stop is normally 50%. So that's one. So when you're taking a swing trade, you gotta kind of manage that risk of
Gotcha.
saying, okay, like with that kingmaker. I mean, because the thing about a swing is if a swing works out normally, I mean, a swing trade can end up being, 50, 100, honestly, up to 1,000%, depending on how it go, right? You could take profit along the way, but it's a swing. I mean, swings sometimes work out. You can wake up and be up, 400 or 500%. So I mean, you don't really need a lot of money into a swing trade. You know what I mean? Because your risk is already high, but at the same time,
Yeah.
the reward is pretty
Stop.
good. So you might. So
Depends
let's just say you brought 10
on your
contracts,
action.
huh? Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I have to reconnect.
I can hear you. Oh, whatever. My screen go up. Your PayPal. Look out that owl and continue to go for more. Found this hourly level right here. So we took out that level. Look like we want to push and take out this hourly level. And then maybe here. I don't know if we're going to take it out today, but it's definitely, and then this is the daily PT level. So that's pretty good if you entered here. Google. Google did his big one. I sent this out. I sent this out on the I sent this out on a little watch list yesterday. Oh, look at that. Beautiful push. That was a one-on-one live trading session. That's it for me today.